Hello, I'm Lanson with Raja Meditation Science. Today I want to talk about lucid dreaming. During this video, I'll break down what it is, the science behind lucid dreaming, a yogic map of consciousness to kind of explain what's happening when you dream, and especially lucid dream. And then I'll provide some practical steps from some Tibetan Buddhist monks on how to lucid dream, also known as dream yoga. So first, what is lucid dreaming? Lucid dreaming is essentially just dreaming, but knowing that you're dreaming. It's not just vivid dreams or wild dreams, it's being in control of your dreams and having awareness inside the dream. So, what's the science behind lucid dreaming? Well, whenever you're asleep, you're generally in what's called a REM sleep state, which is rapid eye movement. And in this state, your visual cortex and emotional centers are generally online, while your prefrontal cortex, that part that governs self-reflection, logic, ego, if you will, that part is mostly offline. Now, whenever you become lucid, that prefrontal cortex reactivates and allows you to have self-reflection and awareness within the dream. Now, science has even been able to show this is happening and measure it by giving people certain cues to move your eyes a certain direction when you're lucid dreaming, and they've been able to observe that people can do that in that lucid dreaming state, and they can see it externally. Also, EEG studies have shown that gamma waves generally spike during lucid dreaming. Now, this state is trainable. It's something that you can train and grow, and we'll go over those steps in just a moment. Before we jump into the practical steps on how to lucid dream, I want to give you a visual representation of what dreaming and lucid dreaming is through the yogic model of consciousness. So here you can see four states of consciousness. In this, you have the waking state, and this is your normal everyday life. You also have your conscious mind being awake and alert, and it is getting signals from your body and your five senses. So it's sending data from the body towards your conscious mind. This is generally how your conscious mind generates the reality around you that you perceive. This is the world, and the reality that you live in is generated by this conscious mind inputting data from your body and your five senses. Now, when you fall asleep, your conscious mind is still active, right? But your body's no longer actively sending those signals from your five senses, and that's not the reality that you're currently building. This reality is a dream, fed by your dream state and your unconscious mind. Now, to go a little deeper, we also have a deep sleep state that has your latent seeds in your mind. So these are things that are deep within that aren't activated at the moment. Maybe if something triggers it, it can activate that latent seed deep within you. But generally, we're talking about this active mind that has these seeds that have bubbled up to the top, and they are influencing your conscious mind. So instead of your conscious mind using your senses to build its reality, its dream state reality is fed from your unconscious. So whenever you gain this lucidity within your dream state, you're actually able to get a view of your unconscious mind, because these are the things that are bubbling up in your unconscious that is creating this world. So now you have a blessing to be able to interact with this unconscious mind that normally is just doing its thing on its own. A lot of times people meditate so they can train their awareness and focus and still their mind so they can get to that deeper level of consciousness, right? Well, in lucid dreaming, you're training your awareness to be aware of this unconscious mind through the dream state. So again, it's that rare blessing that you can have to not only see your unconscious mind, but to interact with it. You can change things. You can change your responses to things. You can rebuild neural pathways. You can also just change bad dreams or have a little fun in the dream. But really, it's best to take advantage of this if possible to get a better understanding, to reprocess things that are subconscious, and to learn new neural pathways, and even to maybe quell some nightmares or anxieties that you might have. The next thing I want to do is go over some practical steps on how to lucid dream. Consistency is key here. I'm not going to guarantee you that you'll be lucid dreaming tonight. This is like training any other skill that will take time and practice until you get there reliably. But there's quite a few things you can do to increase your chances of lucid dreaming, and you might even do it tonight. First, these are your day practices. These are the things that you can do throughout the day, every day. And really, what it is questioning reality around you, asking, is this a dream? And then you can do a lot of different reality checks to see if you're in a dream or not. One thing people recommend is trying to push your finger through your hand. Now, I tried this in dreams and I wasn't able to push my finger through my hand. But a lot of people say that's a way that they're able to recognize that they're in a dream when they're in it. Another thing is reading text. So some people say you can't read text in a dream. Now, I was able to read text in a dream. But I was also told that sometimes the text changes or you can't read the same thing twice, or it might look kind of like, AI text looks where it's just not right and the letters are off. So try to read during your dreams. Now, one thing that did work for me is flying. And how I did that was by jumping up in the air. Now, I've got bad knees and a bad back, so I don't do much jumping in real life. But in the dream, I was able to jump. And when I did that, I suspended myself in the air and didn't fall back down to earth. So then I was like, wait, this is a dream. And then I was able to fly from there and then continue on with my lucid dreaming. Now, one other practice you can do is soon as you wake up, start a dream journal. And you can audio record it. You can tell it to ChatGPT if that's your thing. You can just write down a good old-fashioned paper journal. The good thing about this is you're connecting your waking consciousness to your dream state by accessing these dreams as soon as you wake up. And then sometimes when you're falling back asleep, you can easily remember that dream, which will allow you to flow into it more easily, lucid. So, if those are our daytime practices, the nighttime practices are also very important into being able to lucid dream. As you begin to fall asleep, they recommend repeating anywhere from 7 to 21 times an intention that you're going to lucid dream that night. For example, tonight I will recognize that I'm dreaming. And just repeat that. Tonight I will recognize that I'm dreaming. Tonight I will recognize that I'm dreaming. Now, I didn't count how many times I did it. I just repeat it until I fall asleep. And that drastically improves my chances of lucid dreaming that night. You can also say, when I dream, I will know it's a dream. So it's really just setting that intention as you fall asleep and then gently fall asleep as you're repeating that intention. That is definitely proven to help me. Another practice that some people use is setting an alarm. And if you set an alarm, maybe an hour or two before you naturally wake up, don't get up and play on your phone, but then try to fall back asleep. Try to recall that dream that you were having, but then repeating that intention. Tonight, I will realize that I'm dreaming. And as you repeat that and fall back asleep, you're a lot more likely to re enter that dream in a lucid state. So it's important to realize once you fall into the sleep and you become lucid, you can easily wake yourself up by getting too excited. Your pulse might increase, you might, get really excited and it might actually pull you out of the dream. That's not ideal. So it's encouraged to stay calm, try some grounding things, maybe be aware of the dream, maybe try to lightly interact with it before trying to change everything about the dream. Now, once you've stabilized the dream, then you can start interacting with it. You can change dream content. You can change your identity. You can break dream physics. And the cool thing about that is that can help you kind of change your responses to things. That can change how, you show up both in the dream state, which can influence your waking state. So that's where a lot of this coolness happens is by being able to retrain and respond in different ways to things that normally are triggering and upsetting to you. This is just a dream. Imagine it's like a safe laboratory where you can experiment with your own unconscious and rewire some things if you get the opportunity. Now, I do want to add one of the things that Tibetan monks provided was this isn't just a way to have fun and have a cool dream where you're flying around. Their end goal was that enlightenment phase, that nirvana. And in order to get a little bit further, if you're wanting to go deeper into this practice, is instead of just doing cool stuff in your lucid dream, start questioning it. Wait, who am I? Who is the person that is lucid dreaming right now? Who is the person that's interacting with this dream? And then ideally, your dream would dissolve into that clear white light or luminosity or ultimately that nirvana. Now, that's definitely an aspirational practice. So to recap, lucid dreaming is not just vivid dreams. It's not just about control. It's about awareness inside of your conscious mind through a dream state. It allows you to have safe exposure to your unconscious. It allows for emotional reprocessing and allows for rehearsal of new responses to things as well. Think of it as meditation is training your awareness and your concentration during the waking state. Well, lucid dreaming is training your unconsciousness for awareness in the dream state. So tonight, just try to say your intention before you fall asleep. Tonight, I'll be aware that I'm dreaming. Good luck. Thanks for joining.